following the strikes in Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro has signed a decree declaring a state of emergency in the country. The country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs has reported. Venezuela's government has also said that it has rejected what it described as military aggression by the United States as it declared a state of national emergency. The Pentagon and the White House have not yet responded to the strikes. So now I want to go across to now I do have Professor Madhav Nalapat, who's just joined me on the broadcast. He's the editorial director of the Sunday Guardian. Professor Nalapat, you've just joined us. I just want to begin by first asking you, how do you see this attack on Venezuela?
Look, quite frankly, Trump campaigned on the campaign that he would end all these endless wars and he would favor peace. And the American voters voted for him because they thought that he favored peace over war, including in Ukraine. And now what are you seeing? You're seeing the exact opposite. You're seeing that Trump go to war with another country, and Venezuela. And please understand, Venezuela is not alone. Venezuela has got the largest oil reserves in the world. You may not know this, the largest oil reserves in the world. And that is what is driving President Trump. He wants to replace that Nobel Prize winner, Ms. Machado, and put her there instead of Maduro. And it's well known that Ms. Machado will toe the line of the White House. So the point is Russia and China are firmly opposed to that. In my view, the tipping point may come, and that tipping point would be that China will resist Venezuela. For example, in missiles, Maduro may feel he has nothing to lose. Anyway, he is under siege. He is under threat. He is being bombed mercilessly. So he may feel he has nothing to lose. And then he may have the missiles needed to bring down some American aircraft, and then all hell is going to break loose in the American political environment, because congressmen are going to be very upset about the loss of American lives, about the downing of American planes. Even 2 or 3 planes going down will lead to a huge problem, political problem for Trump. I don't think he can surpass that political problem. So in my personal view, this is headed for disaster. I don't see China backing down. Frankly, we're talking about drugs. China is the source of fentanyl. Trump is somehow forgetting that China is the source of fentanyl, and whatever fentanyl is there is funneled through Chinese tongs, the Chinese gangsters, all of whom are controlled by the Communist Party. So very honestly, in my view, he has lit a fuse that he doesn't know what is going to happen to it. He believes that Maduro will keel over easily, but the fact is China will not allow him to keel over, and neither will Russia, and therefore we may be entering a period of intense conflict, and that too in a presidency that promised the end of conflict. Thank you very much.
All right, Professor Nalapat. Now I want to go across to Group Captain Tapesh Chaudhary. Now, Group Captain Chaudhary, now this is of course a lot of new developments that we're sharing with our viewers. You know, President Nicolás Maduro has of course signed a decree declaring a state of emergency. So this of course is a cry of help. But simultaneously, he's also said that it has rejected what it described as military aggression by the United States. What would you like to say on that?
See, as just been covered, whether the US makes the peace or whether US fights the war, whether Republicans are in power or Democrats are in power, in disguise of something or other, it is always US interest. Whether the weapons of mass destruction were enough to attack America, Iraq, or whether it is the drug policy which is there now America is harping about to attack Venezuela. See, these all are the games which has been played for the long time. It does not happen overnight. The diplomacy is done. The general narrative with the NATO countries, etc., European countries are created, because US always been accusing Venezuela of being involved in narcotics trafficking, with President Nicolás Maduro charged with narco terrorism actually. And also, US again imposed sanctions on Venezuela on the charge of human rights abuses, repression, corruption, etc. The US also did not recognize the Maduro presidency side that alleged election fraud in 2024. Now, basically, the again everybody knows about it. Every panelist is also talking about it, because everybody understands the game of USA now. US has been targeting Venezuela because of their oil sector, imposing sanctions to restrict oil exports, actually limit Maduro access to financial resources. What will happen? These all actions are part of broader US policy aimed at Maduro to step down, restore, as per the USA, they want to restore the democratic governments in Venezuela. But it is not happening overnight. As far as China and Russia are concerned, I don't think anybody is going to get into the military conflict. It is all our diplomacy, which will go on for some time. Venezuela is not in a position to retaliate. But yes, Venezuela military is preparing for guerrilla warfare, as reports have come out, with the plan to deploy forces and sabotage infrastructure, etc. And though president does not have any thing but to say that they will retaliate, because now the national population will also have to be with president to fight, so that to stop the unrest. But as far as I am concerned, this will increase the existing humanitarian crisis, with million of or thousands of Venezuelans already in need of assistance actually. So any regional instability, what will happen, not happen, government will change or not change, it is always US interest. US is not going to bow down or listen to the Colombian, China, or America or the Russia. It will achieve whatever is required to be achieved, and we will see in 1 or 2 days. Back to you.
You know, Group Captain Georgie, this is a very pertinent point you've made, of course. Ultimately, with all of these things, who really suffers? It's the people, really, of Venezuela. And this is a very, very tense situation there, viewers. I just want to take you through the visuals there. There's an attack on Venezuela. You can see on your screens all of those blasts, all of those aircrafts flying, those helicopters flying. We're taking you through all of those visuals there. Very dramatic indeed. And there's a lot of developments that we're going to be expecting, and NewsX is going to be on top of that, getting you all those details. I want to go across to Major Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert. You know, Major Mohammad Ali Shah, we had previously in the bulletin a very senior defense expert, Major General Sudhakar Ji. He's not there in the discussion at the moment, but I want to quote him because he said something very interesting. He was talking about whether this attack is really justifiable. He was saying that, you know, if this can be justified, the attack on Ukraine by Russia can also be justified. You know, it was a statement that he was making. And perhaps he felt that what was happening wasn't right. You know, do you see this as a lot of muscle flexing by Trump, a lot of pressure on Zelensky when it comes to the peace plan, these kind of things that he's doing under the garb of drugs? What do you really have to say for that?
No, 100% it is muscle flexing by America. It is ruled by America. In Hindi, they are saying, "Jiski lathi uski bhais." That's what America has been doing, and I think it's very, very wrong. America has done military action on over 100 countries, almost. I mean, most of the countries in the world, but no one has said a word to America. America does what they want. They have the power. Venezuela is a very small country. The value of the Venezuela currency is, I came to a house for dinner and I saw a dragon, a showpiece. It was made out of Venezuela currency. They were just showing it to me last night. They were showing this is the value of Venezuela currency. Coincidence that we were talking Venezuela last night, and now America has gone and attacked Venezuela. So the aggressor is always wrong, no matter what, how much ever the provocation might be. Regarding Russia and Ukraine, Russia was really pushed and provoked very, very badly to attack Ukraine. But at the same time, I would say aggressor is always wrong. Whoever lifts the hands first, there are two people arguing. One person slaps the other person, gets physical. That person's wrong. Why didn't you argue? So it's as simple as that. So now there's no justification over here. The fact is there is no justification. America cannot be justified in attacking Venezuela. Russia cannot be justified in attacking Ukraine again at the same time. Though yes, Russia was provoking. It was provoked. It was pushed to a corner. They were left with little choice. But whoever is the aggressor first is always at fault. I would say that. And a soldier fights not because he hates what's in front of him. A soldier fights because he loves what's behind them. To protect the countrymen, to protect what's there. No, at the end of the day, we all want peace. Nobody likes bloodshed. But America has been muscle flexing. They do what they wish, how they wish, what they wish. And as Shilpi Dasgupta had said earlier, that if the very fact is, if when UN spoke a lot about Russia, about they had declared President Putin a war criminal, there was an arrest warrant issued again in the International Court of Justice against him and such things. Well, but UN has been very silent when America is the aggressor here every time. We would like to hear the UN also, though of course they are toothless tigers, I would call it like that, because it holds no value at this time. Beat the pump. But we would also like UN to be vocal about what America has been doing, because this attack, I would say, is not justified in the garb of narcotics and drugs, where the whole world knows it is not drugs, not narcotics. That's not the actual reason. Of course, the oil field, that is one reason could be that. Of course, there is no doubt, but that's not the only reason at the end of the day. The main reason I see it as regime change. Donald Trump has come there. Donald Trump, now people in America would actually repent about who they have got into power. But the very fact is it's their own doing. So now there's a war, both will suffer. One will suffer less, other will suffer more. But the fact is both will suffer. And Venezuela, when they said they would retaliate, but yes, Venezuela is a poor country, a small country, is a weak country. They would, unless they get, I said earlier, unless and until they get support of Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, the powers are not happy with America. Only if Venezuela can stand up to some degree. Otherwise, Venezuela has no chance over here. And unfortunately, and America would feel encouraged to flex its muscles and to bully other nations thereafter.